One way to display a data set, elements in a data set, so a set of numbers, is in a box and whisker plot. And they call it that because it literally looks like a box with whiskers, like a cat. And it'll have a line somewhere in the middle of the box. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple examples using some data that I collected from a couple classes. My first period class took a pre-assessment the first day of school. I recorded their scores. So here are the scores. The first thing you're going to need to do for a box and a whisker plot is to put your numbers in increasing order. You can do increasing or decreasing. I do increasing. I like to mark them off as I write them down so I make sure that I'm not missing any numbers. So 48, 49, 50, 54, 54, 60, 60, 60, 62, 65, 68, 72, 73, 76, another 76, and an 80. Okay, and I've marked them all off, so I've got them all down. Okay, so now that my numbers are in order, what I'm going to do is cut them into quarters, and I'm going to do that by first cutting them in half. So my median, remember, is the middle number in a data set when they are in order. So let's see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So divide by 2, I have 8. So because it's even, I'm going to have 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 on each side. Remember that when you have two numbers in the middle, you're actually finding the mean. You're going to add them and divide by 2. So I'm going to get 61. So the median in my data set was 61. Okay, so that's half of my numbers, so 50% of my elements are below 61 and 50% are above. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the lower half here and I'm going to cut that in half. So I've got 8 there, so remember half of that is 4. I'm going to have to do the mean again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time it turns out to be easy. When the number is the same, when you take the mean of them, you end up getting the same thing. So 54. So the lower quartile is 54, and it's called a quartile because what I've just done is I just took 50% of my data and cut it in half. So that means I have 25% here and 25% here. Okay, I've got a quarter of my data here and here. Now let's look at the upper half and let's cut those in half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 on each side. I'm going to have to take the mean. 72 plus 73 divided by 2 gives me 72.5. Sorry about my dyslexia. 72.5. Okay? And that is my upper quartile. Okay? Because again, what I've just done now is taken this upper half and cut it in half. So I have 1/4 or 25% here and 1/4 or 25% right here. Okay, so I've broken my whole set into 4 equal parts, quarters, 25%, 25%, 25%, and 25%. Now to see this in the graph, I want to see, or the plot, I want to see what the extremes are. So the bottom side of this and the upper side of this quartile. So basically I'm doing that by just using that bottom number and using that top number. So 48 is my lower extreme and 80 is my upper extreme. So I'm going to use these 5 numbers to show, when I do those 5 numbers above a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to show those quartiles, those 25% chunks. So I need a number line for this, and I want to use a number line with even intervals. So if I look here, I've got 40 to 50, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this number line is going by 2, so I have to keep that in mind when I plot my points. So my lower extreme was 48, so I go to my number line, it's going to actually be a couple below 50. My lower quartile was 54. My median was 61, halfway between 60 and 62. My upper quartile was 72.5, so just a little bit past 72. And then my upper extreme was 80. And now what I'm going to do with these 5 points is draw my whiskers on the outside, connect the whiskers with my box, and draw a line at the median. So there's a couple things you can see when you're looking at a box and whisker. Remember, the median is the middle one, so you see one of the measures of central tendency. And you also see how spread out your data is, which is, remember, called the range. So 80 minus 48, 32. So I can see that in my box and whisker. Okay, I want to do one more with you because this time I used an odd set of numbers. So it's slightly different when you do the calculations. So the first thing I'm going to do is put my numbers in order. So I've got 42, 44, 48, 52, 54, I guess there's 60s, 60, 60, 62, 64, another 64, 65, 68, another 68, 70, 72, 72, 76. Okay, so this time when I count them, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So when I divide that by 2, it's actually odd, so I'm going to have one left over. So 17, that's 1 down to 16, so 8 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the other side of 64, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this time, because my median is actually a number in the data set, what I'm going to do is not use it when I go and find the bottom and upper quartiles, the lower and upper quartiles. So on the bottom half here I have 8 numbers, so it's going to be even again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have to take the mean of those. 52 plus 54 divided by 2 is 53. So my lower quartile was here at 53. My upper quartile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, was here, right? Yeah. Okay, and again, because this one landed between two, I have to take the mean, 68 plus 70, 68 plus 70 divided by 2. Okay, 68 plus 70 divided by 2 is 69. And that's my upper quartile. So I have divided my data into, this time I'd say approximately 25%, because the line there is off. I had 17 numbers, so I can't, if I take 25%, it's not a whole number. But you've got 4 in this quartile, 4 in this quartile, 4 in this quartile, 4 in this quartile, and the extra one was landing on the median. So when I make my box and whisker, I still need to use 2 more numbers. Those are the extremes. Okay, those were my bottom and upper numbers, so 42 and 76. And those are going to frame out my quartiles. Those are the quartiles. Those are the numbers I'm going to graph on the number line. So I'm actually going to use the same number line. This time I'm going to do it below. So the one on the top was my first period scores, and now I'm going to do another one. 42, my lower extreme was here. 53, halfway between 2 and 4. 64, 69, halfway between 68 and 70, and 76, 2, 4, 6. And remember, when you're drawing it, whiskers go on the outside, and a box connects the whiskers. And you draw a line through the median. So, things you can talk about, this is my third period. When you're looking at a box and whisker, again, you can identify the median. So even though my first period is higher, that box is higher, box and whisker plot is higher than my third period, my overall median or average is actually higher in third period. The whisker, and actually the smallest piece of all this is right here, and some people kind of get confused by this because they're like, oh, it's bigger down here where it's lower. But actually I would be happier here about my third period scores, because this big area here has 25%. It's more spread out, and my higher one here, this is where 25% is, so 1/4 of my data is in this small area here, which is actually a decent score for a pre-assessment especially. So when you often see box and whiskers placed side by side, so you can kind of compare the different things. Remember, you can see the range here, and you can see the inner quartile range as well.